My name is Michael Lazaroff. I am the executive director of Jazz Cruises. We are here today to talk about Botti at Sea 2, which is our 2025 sailing of this cruise. We had our first sailing this year, and it was absolutely terrific. We're calling this webinar the Botti 250 for two reasons. Number one, Chris evidently is a very strong fan advocate of fast cars and also racing not against other cars, but it's almost like a track or something like that. And he loves it. And but the real reason for the 250 is we're almost exactly 250 days away from the cruise sailing. So that was our little tongue-in-cheek way of doing this. Chris, by the way, will be joining us on this a webinar probably in the next 10 minutes. So I'm going to start, and we will let him interrupt us, which I'm sure everybody will be very excited about. Other cruise details: we are sailing on a Celebrity Summit. That's the same ship that we sailed on last year. It's also the ship that a Jazz Cruises uses for all of its jazz programs, all 5 of them now. The sailing dates are February 4th to the 11th, and yes, that is a Tuesday to Tuesday. People ask, why'd you choose Tuesday to Tuesday? And the answer is we didn't. They tell us when we go. We actually take a ship out of its normal rotation, and they give it to us for 4 weeks. So there's usually a 2-day kind of lag, and that's why we're starting on a Tuesday. Some aspects of it really are good. You only miss one weekend. You are traveling on a Tuesday, which is typically not a really a busy time, so that's cool. We will be going out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and we've got 2 great ports to call, Cozumel and a Grand Cayman. We're going to be there late, both places, so we will have full days there. It's also that gives us the opportunity to bring on special guests to perform, and we're going to be talking about that later. We're about 65% reserved, which is right on target, right where we were last year. The suites and the single occupancy staterooms are fully reserved, but we do have availability in other categories inside Ocean View and staterooms with verandas, which includes concierge class, aqua class, and veranda class staterooms. So that's actually good. It's a very nice selection of staterooms that are there. Botti at Sea is different from all of our other programs because our other programs are driven by a particular type of music or kind of a genre, whereas a Chris Botti, just like what he does on stage, if you have seen his show, and I'm assuming that most of you have, it's very eclectic. It's a variety show. It is all types of singers, musicians, violinists, a guitar player, vocalists. It's really cool. And so the cruise that we are presenting reflects his eclectic, his belief that there's many layers to entertainment, and really the only thing that's in common is that we've got super quality people filling all of the roles. And the cruise is a little more upscale perhaps than our others. So we call it every night is a night on the town. We try to dress up every show and every evening. So you're going out for a dinner and a show, or show and a dinner, depending upon whether you are a red guest or a blue guest. And the shows that we are presenting are shows. They're really more than just um, a musical playlist, and we are really excited about that. Obviously, Chris, when he's on with his band, that is a complete show. That's that's a 2 hour show that is filled with just about everything, and masterfully produced. Uh, our cruise stars, the only people that are on from last year in a starring role, David Foster and Catherine McPhee. If you were on the cruise last year, you know what I'm saying. If you haven't, if you weren't, they put on just an unbelievable show. David Foster is a 16-time Grammy winner, 47 nominations. He has produced or written all kinds of songs, just fabulous music. And I'm assuming that everyone knows who Catherine McPhee is, but if not, she was the runner-up in season 5 of American Idol. If you read the Weekender last Saturday, that is our weekly blog, and if you haven't, and if you don't receive it, you can go online and sign up for it, because that's really the best way to keep up with us. I actually made a joke about Catherine McPhee coming in second because she got robbed. She lost to a guy who absolutely has no talent, and the proof of it is he didn't do anything since. And my joke was, just in case you think that I'm being harsh, when was the last time you played a Taylor Hicks song? Okay, and then we have Kamasi Washington, one of the great forces in all of music, and he's coming on board with his full show. It isn't just Kamasi Washington and his band. He's going to have singers. It is a full production. Same for Esperanza Spalding. For those who do not remember, it was a few years ago that Esperanza Spalding won the a Best New Artist Grammy, and that isn't jazz. That is all kinds of music, and I'm trying to remember who she beat. I think it was Drake. I mean, it was an amazing group of people that she beat. So when we talk about Samara Joy, who's been on our cruises, she was the second person to win that, and Esperanza is also coming on with a show, a full, complete show. Then we have Corinne Bailey Rae, fabulous singer. We're very, very excited about her being on board. And then to fill that nostalgia, fun slot, we have Kool and the Gang, who was just inducted into the a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think the induction ceremony is in a couple of months, but they will be one of the groups, and they're just terrific. They're fun. Kool is still with us. In fact, I met him a couple of months ago when I was in New York. But that's just going to be a hoot. And every song that they play will be a hit. Antonio Sanchez and A Bad Hombre, terrific performers, and we have our own band. We actually have two bands for this cruise. We have the a Jazz Cruises All-Star Super Band, which is a jazz band, and then we have a party band. This is going to be him. Hold on. Hello.
Hey, Michael, it's Chris Botti.
Chris Botti. Okay, can everybody hear? We, Chris is joining the webinar, and you have a whole bunch of people. We have just basically talked about the details of the cruise, and I did a little quick rundown of the talent. It's an amazing group of talent, and we aren't done. Cruises like this level of talent, you sometimes have to wait to get clearance for certain people. So we have a couple more that we are talking to. But I want Chris to say hi, and because he was the reason why we did the cruise, and he was amazing. He is the best host I've ever seen, and I've been doing this for 25 years. Chris, take it away.
Well, first of all, thank you for that. How's the audio? You can hear okay? Everything cool?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Well, first of all, thank you for that lovely, kind words. And I must tell you, I didn't know what to expect going into it, and I felt since being on the cruise with everyone, and subsequently the weeks that have passed, it was life-changing for me. I mean, I felt like such a wide-ranging set of emotions because of the way everyone else on the tour, I mean on the ship, respected each other's talent. I mean, for instance, we had 4 of the best young jazz pianists in the world, and they were all, camaraderie between all of them was so spectacular, and all the things that historically jazz musicians or musicians in general can kind of they're snobby or they could maybe not be on time or not be enthusiastic. I was just amazed at how incredible everyone was. The late night jam sessions, the interviews, the way people stayed on the cruise to really see the music and hear all the in-depth kind of insight into what makes an artist tick and how that they work together as a band. I'm glad I did it now at this juncture of my life in my career, and I just absolutely was blown away by the reception of the people and the way that their enthusiasm for this particular lineup manifested itself on that cruise.
Yeah. Now, from a guy who has been producing cruises for 25 years, let me say this: a lot of that reaction is out of respect for Chris and the manner in which he approached all of the musicians and treated them, and also the programming. It was a very egalitarian presentation. It was the Chris Botti cruise, but every single artist was treated with the highest level of respect, and that's what makes these things great. And Chris knows how to share a bandstand and do it right. And I really respect everything that he did, and there isn't any reason why the upcoming cruise won't be 15 times better.
Well, you're going to have one year of experience from me, and I went into it open eyes, and as I said, I was just so far beyond my expectations of what it did to me emotionally and personally. And jazz has always been, when Miles Davis would put his horn down, you were looking at the future of jazz, whether it's Wayne Shorter or John Coltrane or Marcus Miller or whomever, and you really want to surround yourself with the best because it elevates the whole thing. And I think we surrounded ourselves not only with the best internal musicians, but the best kind of pacing of a unique music experience, because it's so varied, from Gregory Porter to David Foster and Cat McKee and then the Mentalists, and this year is going to be equally as from Kamasi to Kool and the Gang, etc. And David and Cat are so gracious to come back, and so I think I would be hard pressed to find anything that has this wide ranging of level of artistry and variety and history behind it. I could not be any happier than the way it's been going.
Thank you very much. We thank you for doing it and for curating it and for making sure that we hire the right people and that we treat them right. And all of our guests are really excited about the cruise. We know that you have tons of things going on, so we're going to let you go and we're going to finish up with a whole bunch more info about the cruise. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, and thank you again for sticking in there with me and making it all happen this year, because boy, it was something special, and we look forward to 25 in February.
You got it, and beyond.
All right.
Thank you, Chris.
Take care, you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All the best. Bye-bye.
Okay. I thought that guy did a terrific impersonation of Chris Botti. Kidding. That was the genuine article. For those who are unfamiliar with my sense of humor, I don't have one, and that was proof positive of it. Okay. Are there any questions that related to that, or should I go forward?
We can move forward.
Okay. One of the things that our guests mentioned about the cruise last year was that there wasn't enough Chris Botti, and we are curing that. He will be ever present and ever playing. Okay. Alonzo Bowden's back, our comedian. For those who are on the cruise, I would say that the band feud might have been the funniest event that I've seen in a long time. Okay. Well, let's talk about the onboard experience. Every day is paradise. Every night is a night on the town. We do this cruise in our main show format. We take everybody on the ship. We divide them into two groups, red and blue, and you become that when you make your reservation. Around 5:30 every night, give or take, half the people go to dinner and the other half of the people go to the main show. And then between 7:30 and 8:15 or so, those things flip. So the people who are coming out of the show, they go to dinner, and the people that are coming out of dinner go to the show. It's actually one of the coolest parts of the cruise, because the dining room is at one end of the ship and the theater's at the other end. So everybody kind of meets in the middle, and half the people are asking, "What'd you have for dinner?" and the other half are saying, "How was the show?" And rare refers to the food, not to the music. By the way, for the answers. So and then beginning around 10:30, 11, this is what we are famous for, Jazz Cruises, cruising after dark, where we open up the entire ship, and there's comedy, dancing, more music, stuff outside, all kinds of different venues, and it is for you to pick. And we almost always have a late night show in the main theater, which is usually a very, 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 very good show. That's how we do it, and we have lots of different types of events. We have our in-concert events, which means live music. We have our learn events. We have a lot of one-on-one interviews, tutorials, seminars, master classes, fun events, and then we have things that are just for fun, which involve the artists. We have artist hosted wine tastings. and food pairings and other kinds of events. There's something for everybody here, and it is a great hang. Chris alluded to something which is very important. The artists love being on the ship. They love being together. They never get to see each other, and they're gonna hang with you. They really do. It's even the ones that get on the ship in the beginning and don't think they're going to be hanging with you, they wind up hanging with you just because it's a very friendly and a very safe environment. You know, for them, once in a while, they are used to walking off stage and there's a crowd that wants an autograph or something like that. Well, the price point of these cruises is such that that is not the guest that comes on the cruise. They are very respectful, and they talk to you, and the artists talk back to them, and it really is kind of amazing. You're going to be able to interact with artists in a way that you couldn't possibly do on land, and that is actually one of the cool aspects of the cruise. Okay, flipping on to about the ship. Dining. Celebrity has terrific food, really does, and there are several included dining options. When I say included, meaning there is no upcharge, there is no charge beyond what you paid to reserve your estate room, and there's the main dining room. There's the Ocean View Cafe, which is, for lack of a better term, a casual self-serve. I am trying not to use the word cafeteria elements there, but it's really, really good, and they have all kinds of stations, and they will grill you fresh fish and chickens and all kinds of salads and vegan food, and it's really, really terrific. Then we have specialty restaurants where there is an upcharge. Tuscan Grill is a very famous Italian steakhouse that has been part of the celebrity brand for years and years. Lumine, which is my personal favorite, is sort of a upscale New York kind of feel restaurant, limited menu, not grand portions, but very, very pretty and a well-prepared food. Sushi on 5, I'm gonna let you guys guess, but the answer is they serve sushi on deck 5. Okay, we kind of hide the ball there. Okay, then Le Petit Chef. I don't even know how to describe it. It's a animated event where a story is incorporated in your meal. The food happens to be good. It really is fun. It sounds incredibly cheesy, but it's not. It is really fun to go see once. Okay. They have a different show every single night, but I would never advise going back there more than once unless you really want to know what the a little chef is doing today. Then we have our own steakhouse. It says Jazz Cruises Chops House. We created this. We created the menu, and it's terrific. It was absolutely the runaway hit last year, and it's a absolutely wonderful restaurant. You have to make reservations. You're gonna want to make reservations that fit your a show seating. Okay, but they're really terrific. There's a terrific spa on the ship. They've got just about every service that you could want. You can get your teeth whitened. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. Fitness center. It is a sufficient fitness center. They actually did make it a little smaller than it used to be. but it has all the equipment that you need. And after the first morning, you'll have it all to yourself on most of our cruises. Everybody kind of gets into it for the first day, and then not so much. Couple pools, hot tubs, really cool. There is a sport court that has basketball, pickleball, is walking track, full casino, and obviously lots of shops, rooftop terrace, which is obviously on top of the ship, which is a really good place to relax, have a drink. They even serve food up there. Okay. In terms of the music venues, first is the theater, which comfortably seats half of our guests. It is completely tiered, very nice seats, virtually no poles. I can't think of any truly obstructed view. It's really a good theater. The Sky Lounge is on top of the ship. How many people? 400? Seats about 400 people for one of our jazz shows. It feels like a jazz club. There's a stage, great bar. During the day we have a lot of events there, but it's a really good second theater. Rendezvous Lounge is on deck 4, and that is inside entirely, but it goes from port to starboard, so it's a full lounge. It also has a bar, also has a stage. We do a lot of trio shows there, Q&As, all kinds of presentations. It is a very cool. I'm gonna jump to the pool stage. We do a lot of things by the pool. We actually build our own stage. We're on the ship for 4 weeks, and so we build a stage which we use for all of the cruises, and it's really fun. Weather permitting, you can have terrific shows out there. When we first walked on this ship, probably the Cosmopolitan Restaurant, which is the main dining room, struck us, and we asked the folks at Celebrity, have they ever done music in there? And they said no, and we said, well, you're about to. It sets up as a magnificent late night jazz club, cabaret style. The back of the dining room is a 2-deck high glass wall. It's actually a series of windows, and it is just magnificent. And that's where we set up the stage. And there's a balcony that forms a U, which actually fits in to that area, and you can sit up there. It's just a terrific place for late night shows, and we just love it. For us, that is the biggest game changer. That is really one of the reasons why we use the Celebrity Millennium class ships. They were just completed a couple of years ago, a complete rehaul. They actually pulled out the cabins. Cabins are pods, and they pulled out the pods and they put in brand new pods. So we have all of the beauty and all of the stature and all of the good stuff of a slightly older ship, but the accommodations are almost entirely brand new. When they're building new ships now, what they've done is they have just stacked cabins on top of the same floor plan that they had before, which means that the venues are not sufficient to provide opportunities for everybody to see all the shows. And that's because cruising has changed over the years. Whereas most people back in the day, everybody went to the show. They did the shows the same way that we do. There was a first show, and there was a late dining, and there was a second show, and there was an early dining. Well, that isn't the case anymore. But that's how we program it, and our ship works perfectly for that.
We do have one question on this slide, and that is, can people start booking specialty restaurants prior to the cruise?
And you're going to tell them the answer when they can do that, because
Yes.
I don't know.
So in later this summer, probably in about 2 months, we will be sending out your celebrity reservation numbers to those of you who are booked on the cruise. And at that point, Celebrity's pre-cruise planner will open, and you will be able to book all of those different restaurants.
It isn't too early to, start your planning. For those who have not sailed with us before, we will have 2 or 3 more, at least 2 webinars about this particular cruise. So I'm going to kind of go through some of this stuff relatively quickly, because the later webinars go into great detail about planning for the cruise. But there are certain things that you can do now. First and foremost, passport. Make sure that your passport, first of all, that you have one. And if you have one, that you know where it is. And we strongly recommend that you have a passport that expires no less than 6 months after the end of the cruise. And the reason for that is, God forbid, something would happen where you had to get off the ship. You're going to need your passport to get back on to the U.S., and you may be in a hospital or something like that. I don't even like breathing that in reality, but to be safe, you're going to need your passport, and it needs to be current. We strongly recommend arriving a day prior to sailing. However, you can fly in that day. You can drive in that day. There's lots of parking near the port. We will give you a lot more info about this. We have a pre-cruise hotel. Do we still have rooms for this? Okay, we have a few rooms left. Special pricing, but we also, on the website, we have a list of recommended hotels in various price range. Ones that we know work. The one good aspect of the pre-cruise hotel is we actually provide a transportation to and from. So guests like that. When do we usually start the get ready letters?
So the get ready letters will start this coming month, later this month.
Later in June.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get a series of get ready emails. They will have various topics, and they'll be on the website just in case you missed them or you want to look at them again. But they're a terrific guide to everything that you would need to know to be on the cruise. One of our goals is we want our guests to be so prepared for the cruise that when they get on the ship, they can spend their time having fun and not trying to do things that they could have and should have done prior to getting on board. We hope that by the time that you get on board, you've already secured whatever internet package, beverage package, specialty dining, excursions, whatever it is, and then you can enjoy the cruise. Unfortunately, when you're on the ship, there is no central place to do all those things. You have to go to a whole bunch of different places, and there'll be a line, okay? And I don't know about you guys, but standing in line during your vacation is probably not really good for you. So we try to get everything done before you get on the ship. That's our Botti 250. We're here to answer any questions that you may have now, but we're also here at all times. Call in, write in. Zendesk is our best way. What is the email for that?
You can just do
Info at
Yes.
jazzcruisesllc.com, and one of us will respond, answer all your questions. As we get closer to the ship, to the cruise time, we can talk about bringing on bottles of wine and all the little details that are, interesting, but not necessarily pertinent at this point. So, Jordan, tell me some questions
Couple
we
of
have.
questions. Is there special evening dress codes?
It is country club casual. There is a one night. We don't even call it formal night anymore. We call it dress up night, and that's as if you're going out to a nice dinner. Okay. I haven't seen many ties on our cruise in a long time. Sport coats, open shirts for men. I wouldn't even guess how to describe what the women wear because it's all over the place. But
I would say cocktail attire is pretty standard for most of the women on most of the nights. Some people do end up dressing up a little bit more. So I know this particular person asked about gowns. You're certainly welcome to do that. Wouldn't be discouraged, but that is not required by any means.
And to be candid, you'd be in a minority.
Correct.
For that. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't a group of 4 couples who do that, okay, together, and that's wonderful. We have some theme nights. We have a Jersey night where all of our folks wear their favorite team jerseys or something like that. We do have the Super Bowl during this cruise, and a Jersey night will be on the Super Bowl night of the Super Bowl, and I think that's the only clothing. We may have something else, but it's not a big deal. But it is. A business casual, sport casual, whatever you want to call that, okay? Most important thing when you're on the ship is to be comfortable and to wear comfortable shoes. Even if all you do is go to the shows and go to dinner and go to your room, you will be walking twice as much as probably you do regularly, and having comfortable shoes really is important. It's also a ship, and there's a little rocking and rolling. 8-inch heels is probably discouraged, okay? And we don't want the women in them either. But be comfortable, okay? That is the most important. It is not a fashion show. People dress very nicely. They're very, very well groomed and all that. But this is not a contest.
You touched on it a little bit with the clothing attire, but somebody is asking if we're going to have the Super Bowl on board and if there would be some programming around that.
Yeah, we do a great job of that. There'll be just as much music that day as if it was a regular day, not the Super Bowl, but we kind of flip things around as to where it is. There will be 4 or 5 different places where you can watch watch the game, including your own cabin, by the way. But we have the rooftop terrace, and if the weather's nice, that's a terrific place. We take the main theater, Sky Lounge. You can watch in the casino, and then we may have some other places. But yes, and we theme it out. We have proper food and all that kind of stuff. It's actually quite a bit of fun, really is.
We have a question that I promise I did not submit. Will John Splitoff be with us?
I know you didn't submit it, but you submitted it to the person who asked. Aubrey's a big fan. Yes, he will be with us. Now, obviously, everything's subject to change, but he is scheduled to be with us. And we do have at least one very significant entertainer to be added very, very, very shortly. Okay.
There is a question about excursions in port and if they should do them via celebrity or on their own.
I'm going to give you my answer. Okay. Definitely not on your own. Okay. Definitely not. I think that being careful as to which celebrity excursions you take is enough of a, I'm going to say, risk. Okay. We don't control that. And by definition, a celebrity excursion is a celebrity approved excursion. They are not running it. Okay. And I'm not sure how often they monitor them and check them out. Okay. There are some really, really good ones, and we can help you out with one. Now, if you're saying you want to get a car, drive around yourself, that's different. I think that's a great idea. And there's all kinds of restaurants at the various places that we can recommend. But something like snorkeling or sailboating or anything that could possibly have a element of danger, I would not do anything other than a celebrity. The other aspect of it is, if you're on an excursion and it's a celebrity excursion and something goes wrong and you're late, they're going to wait for you. If you're not and you're on Joe Blow's thing, then we will see you at the next port, because they won't wait. It's just the rules. Okay. So I'd be very, very careful about that. Okay. Lots of great beaches. Okay. Everywhere we go. Any other questions?
What time do you recommend for the return flight home?
If you're willing to carry off the ship your own luggage, you will be able to disembark around 7:30. Okay? At that time, traffic is usually not very bad, although because it is a business day. You could make a 10 o'clock flight in a Fort Lauderdale pretty easily, and maybe a 10:30 or 11 o'clock flight out of Miami pretty easily. You may even be able to do better than that, but I don't like advising you that way. If you are not willing to carry your own luggage off, almost everyone is off the ship with their luggage by 9. Okay. So just add the time to that. Okay. Hope that answers it.
good.
That's good. If you guys have any questions, call us. We are here to help. We're like the IRS. We're here to help. And we love it. We've been doing this for 25 years. Botti at Sea is a terrific cruise. It's a great spirit, a real potpourri of talent, and it was a whole lot of fun. I mean, it was actually one of the best cruise experiences of the 100 or so cruises that we've done since we started doing this stuff. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Be good. Thanks.